Welcome everybody to a minivan. Yes, it's a body style that I have been avoiding for a very long time, but I finally decided to give this very famous style of vehicle in North America. This is the 2024 Chrysler Pacifica RoadTripper. Let's see how this people mover is. The Pacifica then, well, it's Chrysler's attempt at a people mover. They have been selling this for a lot of years and it's a very successful product for them. When you come to the looks, you'll notice that it actually looks really good. I think this is one of the better looking people movers in the market today. This is the Road Tripper edition, which is a package you can buy on the Touring L variant. So the Road Tripper lends a lot of dark gray elements. So you have the Chrysler logo in gunmetal color, you have the wheels in gunmetal color, you have some elements on the bumper which are also gunmetal, which are exclusive to the Road Tripper edition. This white paint is standard. The grille is a mesh grille, which I think looks really good. It's got the typical minivan proportions, but again, hey, it doesn't mean that they can't look good. I think this is one of the better looking cars. When you come to the side is when you notice the proper proportions. It's so big. You have the traditional famous sliding doors which make ingress and egress so easy for kids, adults, everyone. You do have blacked out mirrors as well, which is again exclusive to the Road Tripper edition. It's a $4,000 to $5,000 option, but it lends you a lot of visual elements. So the wheels, the Road Tripper graphic on the door, the mirrors, as I said, you got blacked out roof rails as well, and you have orange accents around the wheels as well. So where you see the Chrysler logo on the wheel, it has an orange surround, which is again just exclusive to the Road Tripper edition. These are 18-inch wheels, which means that the sidewall is also pretty thick, which also translates to a very good ride. What can I say? The front and side have the typical conventional minivan look, and it still looks very good. The rear of the Pacifica has the typical Chrysler family look. You've got the big logo, which is very beautifully integrated into the design elements of the taillight. You do have connected taillights, which is again a trend you see in a lot of cars these days. You have some badging. Since this is the Road Tripper, again, the badges are in the same gunmetal theme. So you have Pacifica and you have E-Hybrid, since this is the plug-in hybrid variant. Everything else, it just looks very good. You've got a rear wiper, you've got a small little spoiler as well, you have a shark fin antenna as well on the roof. It's very clean, very simple. But you know what's the USP? Since the tailgate is so big, you can actually open it and you'll actually notice that the loading lip is extremely low. So when you want to put in big suitcases, which you can definitely put I can definitely see two big suitcases easily with the third row up. It's so easy, so comfortable, and in fact, some variants of the Pacifica also have an optional vacuum cleaner, so you can actually just clean the interiors after a road trip. That's so cool and such a cool feature. I don't think any other minivan actually offers a vacuum cleaner. It's extremely practical, extremely spacious, the perfect family car, or I would say the ultimate road tripper car, if you get the pun. Now inside the Pacifica, as you can see, it's extremely spacious inside. You have nothing protruding in the middle because it's just full of so many storage spaces. You have a storage space here. We can easily keep a handbag or two. You have two cup holders. You have a small storage here. You have a small storage here. And then if you press this button, you have some more storage here, and then definitely you have the typical glove box as well. You have a small storage here which can easily take my phone, another one here that can take another small phone, and then there's two USB ports, an aux port, two more USB ports for the rear, and then you have a proper DC charger at the bottom as well. It's so practical. I mean, you can charge your phones, you can charge your kids' phones, you can charge their tablets, everything. It's so well thought and so practical. In fact, it's one of the most practical cars I have ever driven in a very long time. You do have physical buttons for everything, for the air controls, the temperatures, fan speed, mode, the auto parking. But one thing that can get very confusing is the difference between the volume knob and the gear shifter. So both of them are exactly round and they're very close together. So in the heat of the moment when you want to change something, you might reach out for the wrong gear knob, which can be a bit confusing. But again, I think the more you live with it, you just get used to it. It's a very tactile feeling gear knob, so it changes gear pretty quick. However, when you do change it, there is a 1 second delay when you switch it from, like, say, drive to reverse. It changes reverse on this, but it takes a second for it to activate. The screen is very nice. It's got wireless CarPlay and Android Auto. The touch response is good. But I feel like you're reliant on the screen a bit too much because, like, say the heated seats has to be turned on only from the screen. Same for the heated steering as well. There are so many physical buttons. I feel like they could have included maybe one or two more physical buttons for the heated seat and steering. The vents are very nice. You have a lot of gloss black to give it that premium feel, and then you do have the same gunmetal elements that are on the outside on the interior as well, which are exclusive to the Road Tripper edition. Overall, the interior is a dual tone theme, so you have black on top and then you have beige on the bottom. The seats again have the same black seats with the beige stitching in between, and then same for the cup holders and for the door pads as well. It's black and beige. Overall, the interior feels very premium. You've got leather, very nice touching leather all over, and it feels very, very premium. You have the gauge cluster as well, which is again exclusive to the plug-in hybrid because there is no physical analog speedometer and tachometer. So the speedometer is digital, but the tachometer is replaced by the power charge big bar. So when you are braking, it comes back to charge, regen, everything. So it's kind of different to the regular conventional gas powered Pacifica. So that's a pretty cool touch. But yeah, everything else, it's just extremely spacious, extremely practical. The windshield is so big, so there's a lot of light. This is not the top of the line variant, so there is no sunroof. Perhaps that's the only downer, but again, you can opt for it in the higher variants. You have buttons around here to open all doors. You can actually open the rear sliding doors just from here, so the kids don't actually have to fight for it. Again, it's very, very well thought and very fantastically packaged by Chrysler inside here. I can totally see why families love the minivan. Ingress and egress of the Pacifica or any minivan is so easy. You have powered side doors. Just get in because the floor is so low. It's applicable to the front as well. And you can just shut the door with automatic with the button. And it's so easy, so convenient. And as you can see, this seat is actually a bit more behind than what I would usually sit. And I have so much knee room. I have a lot of headroom, and the seats are the captain seats in this. You can get it with the bench option. You do have an armrest just like the front seats as well, and it's so practical. You have HDMI ports, aux ports, and a type C fast charging port as well. You have seat back pockets, and the beige and black theme carries on here. Same for the seats and the roof and everything. It feels very, very nice. I think the lack of a sunroof does make it a bit dark in here, but obviously you do have to accommodate the vents, the roof mounted AC vents, and then you have the roof mounted AC controls as well on that side. One party trick though, flip up and you have screens. So this is actually compatible with Amazon Fire TV, and you can connect it to your phone's hotspot and you can stream services on this, which is a really cool thing to have, especially on long road trips if you have small kids and everything. This is really, really cool. What can I say? It's just very practical and just so thoughtfully placed. Everything is just so thoughtfully placed that you can spend very long hours sitting here. I'm now in the third row where I don't spend a lot of time in many car reviews. But since this car is so big, I can easily fit in the third row here. This seat is a bit too front, but this seat is placed normally and I can definitely fit there as well. Under thigh support is decent. Your knees are not pointing too high. The backrest is really nice. You have you have headrests as well, which are very comfortable. You have cup holders and some storage space and USB ports in the back as well. This car has thought about everyone, even the third row occupants. Obviously, you can also put child seats, so you can put 3 child seats here and 2 child seats in the front. So you can accommodate a lot of children if that's your purpose for buying a minivan. The windows are also decently big, so you don't feel very claustrophobic. And yeah, overall it's just a very, very spacious vehicle as a whole, and space is not a compromise for any of the rows in this vehicle. Now I'm behind the wheel of the Pacifica, so let's see how this minivan drives. Let's get the numbers out of the way. This has a 3.6 liter V6, the famous Pentastar engine. The only difference, it works as a Atkinson cycle motor. So this also has an electric motor because this is a plug-in hybrid. The combined horsepower is about 340. It's really not bad. It has a eCVT gearbox. So let's see how this minivan drives. Slot the knob into drive and you set off. And because of the hybrid electric boost, even though I have literally 0% battery left, the initial punch is actually really, really easy. It sets off pretty fast. So it's actually very, very easy to drive this very, very big, minivan, I would say, no, sorry, not SUV, uh, in urban traffic. When you also turn, you notice that the steering is extremely light, so maneuvering even like with one hand is very easy. But if you do turn like this, you will notice that body roll is very much there. It's a very soft suspension. Obviously, they've made it soft so that it's very comfortable, but I feel like it's a tad too soft. And if you just turn in, body roll is there, like it's very much prevalent. So you really have to alter the way you drive. You can't just turn in into a corner the way you drive an SUV or a sedan. You really have to change your whole mindset. But once you get used to it, it's really not bad. The driving position is very upright, so you do have a very clear view. The pillars are very raked, so they're not that much of an intrusion on your vision. So yeah, it's actually really not that bad. On electric range only, you can get about 35 kilometers of pure electric range. There is no e-save button like the Wrangler 4xe or the Grand Cherokee 4xe. So it uses up all its electric range as soon as possible. And yeah, that's something not cool, because when I got picked up this car and I had to drive back home about 40-45 kilometers, I used up all the electric range even though I didn't want to. I was on the highway, so I could have used the gas engine, but I was forced to use all the electric range, and that meant that from that point onwards I had no electric range. So then it just becomes like a very much like a mild hybrid, which is not ideal, if I can say that. But yeah, otherwise it just drives really well. It's very comfortable, very easy. It's okay on the fuel economy. I've been getting 11.5 to 12 kilometers per liter in mixed conditions, traffic, highways, everything. But yeah, it's just easy. The eCVT, so if I floor it, it picks up very well. The V6 has a nice engine note. But it's a bit on the gruff side. But again, some people like that sort of very loud engine note. It makes it sound very nice. It depends. It takes some getting used to be honest. And some might like it, some might not like it. Like I'm coming to a stop now, and then it just shifts into battery mode because you can hear the electric motors whizzing. But yeah, it's just very easy. And once you get to the knob and everything, you have this armrest as well. It's very nice. The plug point is just on the left fender, so it's very easy to plug it in when you're at any public charger. It takes about 2.5 hours to charge it to full with a level 2 charger. Doesn't take level 3. And with level 1, I think it takes 15 or 16 hours, which is the standard affair for any plug-in hybrid, to be very honest with you. It's just very easy, very nice, and I can totally see why families would love to buy this and just put in their kids, their luggage, everything, because this car can just take it all in its stride. It's just so good. What can I say? I didn't expect to like it as much, but yeah, it's turned out to be a great surprise. It's just so comfortable because sometimes you don't want to hustle, you just want to relax, just cruise, and this car is just meant for that. Just eating the kilometers all day, all night. In conclusion, then, the 2024 Chrysler Pacifica RoadTripper. Well, I wasn't sure about minivans, having never driven one. But now that I've driven one for a week pretty extensively, it has me hooked. Honestly, I really want to try all the minivans in the segment. Well, it goes up only against a handful of cars like the Toyota Sienna, the Kia Carnival, and the Honda Odyssey. It's a very small market, but still they are extremely popular. I mean, if you have kids and you want to take in a lot of luggage, then the minivan is the solution for a lot of people. Well, what would you have? A full-size SUV, something like a Kia Telluride or a Hyundai Palisade, or a minivan? I'm not sure because I don't have kids. I'm not in that phase of my life where I need all the luggage and I need all the space. But I do understand why families love this in North America. In fact, this is one of the more popular body styles of vehicle available, just not in Canada, but like in the US as well. This car, it drives pretty decently. It's the plug-in hybrid, which is the only one in its segment. No other minivan is plug-in hybrid. Other ones are just the regular hybrid. It's extremely spacious. It's very practical. And what can I say? It's just so comfortable. The suspension isn't the best. There's a lot of body roll, I would say, and it does take a lot of getting used to. You just have to change your mentality about driving this vehicle. But once you're past that, it's really not that bad. What can I say? I truly enjoyed my experience with the minivan, and now the Pacifica has me hooked to this body style of vehicle.